So, what is a reasonable timeline to heal from infidelity? Okay, this is a question that there isn't a generic answer. Okay, so there's different stages of infidelity recovery. You go through first the grieving process, and then you go through the process where you're trying to deal with it. Now, they say in order for your marriage to be restored, in order for you to feel back 100%, it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years. Okay. Now, that's with intentionality. That means you're working towards it. You're doing the things. You're not nursing your wounds, but you're nursing your healing. Okay. Because there's a difference between nursing wounds and nursing healing. When you're nursing your wounds, that means you're constantly talking about the issue. You're constantly talking about what you experienced. You're constantly talking about what happened to you, what he did, how it makes you feel, how it affects your life. That's when you're nursing your wounds. But when you're nursing healing, that means you are intentionally, one, releasing it to God, and two, pouring into yourself what needs to build you. Okay, so there are many people, they might say, well, I've been struggling with this for years, and it's been so long, and it's been so long. And it's probably because you have been nursing the wounds, or just focusing on what was done instead of walking in a place of victory. And there's a difference, and there's a mindset shift that has to happen, because you have to be empowered and know that I deserve better. So, to answer that question, how long does it normally take to heal? And it's also based on where you are. Everyone doesn't heal the same way. Some might be like, you know what? I got 6 months. Let me get this out. Let me plunge through this and get it done. Some people, it may take the full 1 to 2 years to heal. But you cannot put a timeline on when it's acceptable. This is the thing. Society wants to always dictate how long everyone needs to accomplish something. Everyone's different. Everyone's mindset is different. Everyone's mentality is different. Everyone's thought process is different. So one woman, it may take a couple months, and another, it may take longer. But the thing is, you must be true to who you are. You must be true to what's inside of you, knowing your worth, knowing your value. Because if you value yourself, that really has a strong foundation for how quickly you heal from the infidelity. Um, and what do you intentionally do? If you're feeding yourself ratchet TV and just all the pain and misery and sorrow and pain, it's going to take longer. It will. So just be intentional about that. That doesn't mean that you need to be singing songs and hymns all day and in your war room or in your prayer closet all day. You have a life. I watch a little ratchet TV every once in a while, because I got to be careful about what I'm putting in my spirit, because there's still a little ratchet inside of me. And I try to keep her tamed. Certain stuff I didn't get fully delivered from. And I don't know if I really want to be delivered from all that, because I kind of like that side of me. Okay, so, but you just have to be intentional about and focus and make sure you're doing what it takes to heal. So, to answer that question, it could take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years to go through the entire grieving and healing process. Okay. Next question: how to forgive after infidelity and restore trust in the marriage? Okay, this is another question that I get asked. These are two different processes. Forgiveness is one process. Restoring trust is an entirely different process. They're not contingent on each other. Meaning, I forgive you because I no longer want to carry the weight or the burden of what you did. I no longer want to carry that in my heart. I no longer want that pain to wake me up every morning and to walk with me throughout my day. So I forgive you. I release you. That doesn't mean I'm accepting what you've done. That does not mean what you did is okay and you can keep on doing it. That does not mean that you are high-fiving them saying, yay, you did it. Boom, boom. Let's do it again. No. What that means is forgiveness is for me. I'm no longer carrying this pain because I deserve better than this pain. Okay? So that's one entity of the process. And then building trust. You can only build trust when both parties are engaged. What does that look like? That means the person who has violated you, so if your husband has cheated, he is actively doing the things to rebuild trust. Your only job in rebuilding trust is you being open and willing to see the transformation. Because if you're seeing it through the eyes of bitterness, you won't be able to see. He can do all the right things, but because your eyes are you've been tainted, and you're hurt, it's harder for you to actually see what he has done. It's hard for you to see the good things that he's trying to do to rebuild trust. So in the rebuilding trust stage, your only responsibility is to be open. First, deal with your healing, okay? And then be open to seeing the transformation and the things that he is now doing to fix the marriage, okay? That's your only responsibility. But he has to intentionally do the things. For example, has his behavior changed? You know, we don't want apologies. We want changed behavior. We want transformation. Apologies, a 2-year-old can apologize and mean absolutely. They go right back to doing the same thing again because they're a child, you know? But what you want from your husband is transformation. You want changed behavior. You no longer want them to do the things that they did to get you now in this place where you are struggling. Okay? So that's the difference there. What if we are reliving the pain? So the next question, what to do if we are reliving the pain and not nursing, or that emotional roller coaster where you keep thinking about the things? Honey, you have power over your mind. The Bible says, you know, to take captive every single thought. What that means is, number one, the enemy's going to throw memories at you. The enemy's going to throw stuff at you. The enemy's going to keep on trying to say things that's going to make you think about it, because he knows if I got your thoughts, I control your day. If I can throw this thought at you and throw you off the entire day, you're not actively walking in your joy. You're not walking in your happiness. Okay. So what the enemy will do is he'll throw the thoughts at you, and you sitting there nursing that thought will only bring more pain. So what you have to do, one, like I'm always talking about this, go through the healing process. You must heal. You must heal. You have to heal. Okay. And be intentional about your healing. And part of the healing process is you being intentional about, I'm going to take captive every single thought. I'm going to control my thoughts. I'm not going to allow these thoughts to rest in my mind. And one of the aspects of that is what you think on, you attract to you. And that's a whole nother topic too. But whatever you focus on is what you will draw into your life. You focus on negativity. If you focus on the issue, if you focus on the pain, you're going to draw nothing but pain to you. That's why we should start our day with gratitude and God's word and uplifting music and encouragement, because we'll continue to draw that to us for the rest of the day. You know, have you ever been around people that just gossip just to be gossip? They gossipy. And people always come to them with the juice. Like, they always come to them with the tea, because that's what's in them. That's what they're feeding themselves, and they're naturally attracting that to them. So you have to be intentional about, what am I going to take captive? How am I going to take captive every thought? You're not the victim. Stop acting like the victim. When you're at work and you're doing your leadership and your boss activities and you're handling business, it's because you're focused and you're diligent and you're working it. The same thing happens, same thing works with your emotions. Now, no, we're not being icy and not dealing with our emotions. You address your emotions, you go through the grieving process, but you take captive those thoughts. Be the boss and the leader that you are. Because the victim mentality is not in you. You're not a victim. If you can't be the boss and the leader in your business and your work and all the activities that you're involved in, and then when you deal with your marriage, you become the victim. No, we're not doing that. Okay? So, walk in your power. Take captive every thought. And that's the bottom. Like, there's strategies to go along with it. But first, you've got to make up in your mind. I can teach you all the strategies in the world. But until you make up in your mind that I'm going to take captive my thoughts, until you embrace and accept, God gave me power over this. Like, for real. God gave me power over this situation, and I need to walk in it. Okay? Until you get to that point, you will still be kind of all over the place. Okay, so walk in your power, walk in your truth, control those thoughts. One of the things I do know, a thought comes in my heart, no, Satan, I rebuke you and every single weapon that you have formed against me, and I send you and that thought back to the pits of hell. I don't have time for them games. Yes, that's how I deal with it. Okay, so don't play games. Why are we playing games with the devil? Why are we sitting there? Oh, woe is me. No, boo. Nobody has time for that. Okay, so what do we do with that ongoing mental roller coaster? We get off it. You get off the roller coaster. You intentionally wake up and say, I'm not playing these games anymore. And if you need help with any of this, if you need help with any of these steps, I have an amazing mentorship that's available. DM the word mentorship. If you click the link in my bio or wherever you're seeing this, there's a link somewhere where you can click it and apply for Heal to Love. It's my one-on-one mentorship. It's amazing. I love it. I take you through the process of healing, creating boundaries, owning your voice, and making those tough decisions that you may be struggling with in your marriage, okay? Since you're, recovering from infidelity, okay? So, next question. So how do you recover from prior infidelity? So if you're in a relationship and your current relationship is wonderful, your husband has not cheated on you, but you still are haunted by the thoughts and memories of a previous relationship and the pain that you've gone through. What that means is, one, you have not healed. All you did was try to you've masked that issue and jumped into another relationship. One of the worst things you can do is jump into a new relationship without healing, because your responses will always be based on what you've experienced from the other person. It will harm your marriage. It will create a distance between you and your husband, because you won't fully love him or fully receive his love because you're worried about what happened to you. Okay, so from previous relationship, one, you need to heal. You need to address what happened. You need to grieve. Allow yourself to go through the grieving process. Sometimes as ambitious women, we're so quick to jump and say, I'm good. I got this. Let me get back to what I was doing. But there's also a grieving process that needs to happen, because whether you do it externally or not, you internally will grieve. You internally and emotionally will be feeling the effects of what you've experienced, okay? And let's not forget, it will affect your health at times too. So we don't want to do any of that. So what you want to do is make sure that you're properly going through the healing process. Grieve. One of the strategies that I use, especially with previous relationships that I have my clients do, is you write a letter, 2 letters. You write a letter to the person that offended you, and you're getting it all out of your system. Every single emotion that you currently feel, how you experienced it, what they did, what they shouldn't have done. You write that letter to them, and it's kind of ceremonial. You go to your backyard or wherever you are, and you burn the letter, and you actually allow yourself to go through the process of grieving. You allow yourself to cry. You allow yourself to be angry. Get all of the emotions out, deal with it. And then at the end, you go ahead and you burn that letter. The second letter that I have you write is, you're writing a letter to yourself during that season when you are going through the process. And you need to be gentle with yourself, because first of all, you didn't allow, it's not like you walked into the relationship saying, yes, I want my boo to mistreat me. No, that was not the issue. But you went into it knowing that you want to love someone. This is the thing. Sometimes women will punish themselves because of what a man did. And we'll say, well, I should have known better. I should have saw all the red flags. Boo, be gentle with yourself. No, what you need to do is say, he shouldn't have done what he did. It is not your fault that he did what he did. So be gentle with yourself. So in this letter, you're going to write a loving letter to yourself, and being gentle with yourself and releasing yourself from the burden of, I should have stopped him, or I should have known better, or How did I get myself in this situation? You didn't run into the relationship knowing that he was going to cheat on you and saying, "Yay, I signed up for infidelity." No, you didn't do that. You entered your relationship because you loved him and you wanted him to love you back. He made a mistake, okay? So in this letter, you're writing a gentle love letter to yourself and about forgiving yourself and allowing yourself to go through the process, and it's not your fault. And then you're going to also in that letter write a list of all the amazing things about yourself. What is it about me that so actually that's one letter. And then in another letter, I want you'll create a list of all the amazing things that you bring to the table. That is just, I'm the bomb. I'm the mom. This is why I did not deserve this. This is why these are all the things I bring to the table. So the letter that you wrote to yourself, you can actually, you fold that, put it in an envelope, put it someplace, safe for you along with your list. But this is part of the letting go. And actually with the letter you write to yourself, you can either burn that too, or you can hold on to it as you're going through the process, because eventually you need to get rid of the letter. Eventually you're fully releasing that. When you know you've fully released it and you're no longer burdened by it, then you go ahead and burn that letter. So that's a couple of strategies that you can use when you're recovering from a previous relationship. And that's why it's very important when you've experienced any kind of trauma or betrayal in marriage, it's important that you allow yourself to heal. I'm always preaching about healing. I'm always talking about healing because we're so ambitious that we just get up and go. I'm just going to get up and go. I'm going to get up and go and do all the things. I got children to take care of. I got money to make. I got a job. I have my nonprofit organization. I have my business. I have my hustle. I have all the things that I do within my community. I have my ministry. We're so ambitious, but we're not careful and gentle with ourselves. Okay, and that's very important. You have to be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to, okay, let me just sit and be for a moment. Just be. I just want to be. Okay. If you need help with this, I have an amazing, like I said earlier, I have an amazing opportunity for you to work one-on-one with me. It's a mentorship. It's where I work with you and take you through the entire process and get you to the point where you're thinking clearly and able to make those decisions and no longer on that emotional roller coaster. If you're interested in that, go ahead, click the link in my bio, click the link in this message, wherever you're seeing it, click the link. It's there. Okay. And apply to work one-on-one with me. Okay. So let's see what other questions we have. Okay. So, okay. So how do we deal with our spouse if he still is in contact with the person he cheated on? Now, lean in with this one. If your boo is still in contact with the person he cheated with, that's a red flag. There's no greater red flag in the world. I don't care if he is working with this person. Honey Boo Boo needs to get a new job. That's it. There's no exceptions. If he cheated, and he's still in contact with this person, whether it's at work, whether they were friends, whether it was a family friend, whether it was in church, wherever it is, he is not to have any communication with this person for any reason at all. At all. There's no excuses. That is a red flag. If he is refusing to eliminate the relationship with this person, he is telling you, be clear. He's telling you, I'm choosing them over you. That's it. I don't care what kind of excuses he's giving you. I don't care what he says or oh no, I'm not going to do it again. You just being jealous or you insecure. No, boo boo. No. Whoever he's cheated with, he is to have no contact or communication with that person ever, never, ever again. Never, ever. I don't care if their dog died and he bought them the dog. I don't care. The only difference is if there's a child conceived, but that's a whole other video. If he conceived a child with that person. But if he is refusing to break off that relationship, if he's still sneaking, if he has an extra cell phone that he's still using, if you find any other proof he's still in contact with the person, he's telling you that I am not going to be faithful to you. And I am also choosing this person and my selfish desires over you. Okay, that's a big red flag, and you have to make some decisions. Okay, I know sometimes there's a kind of a cloud of what to do. I don't know what to do. That's why I'm always encouraging women to heal and get the clarity they need so that they can make those decisions. Okay, I'm 100%. I do believe that God can restore marriage after infidelity. He's done it time and time again. It's possible, but both parties have to be dedicated to the marriage. He can't be in the streets. He can't stay in them streets. That's it. You cannot restore a marriage with a man who continues to cheat. That's it. There's no way around it. There's no fluff. If he continues to go out into the streets and you continue to find him out in them streets with whomever, he is telling you he is not delivered from his sin, and he is willing to lose you so that he can entertain his flesh and this other woman. So you have a decision to make. Now, I know, yes, prayer can change you. I'm not saying, and I'm also not saying once a cheater, always a cheater. I'm not saying that, because you can be delivered. Infidelity and cheating it's a sin like everything else. It's a sin like everything else. So can a person repent, turn back to God, and be delivered from the sin? Yes, 100%. But you must want to turn. You must want to turn back to God. And that's it. If you're not willing to turn back to God, you will stay in those streets. Look, there was a day where I don't want to tell you all my stuff, but there was a day where I would go to the club, like literally, I would go to the club every single Saturday night. I was broken, I was hurting, and I was just lost. But I would go to the club every single night, and then Sunday morning, I'd be at church. Every single night I was at the club. Every single morning I'd be at church. Broken, hurting. And it was in me knowing that I have to go to church. It was just in me. I reached to get to church. It was just in me. Like staying home Sunday morning was not even an option for me. But this is the thing. It wasn't until I saw my darkness, saw my sin, saw how it was tormenting me as an individual, and saw how I was breaking the heart of God. It wasn't until I experienced heartache, it wasn't until I was broken, that I said, you know what? I need to stop this. Lord, I fully surrender to you. Help me. I don't want to be this person anymore. Okay? When I experienced that, you know what? The club wasn't as interesting. It just, I wasn't going, the drinking. I wasn't drinking anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, we'll have a little glass of wine, a little strawberry daiquiri, every once in a while, I played music. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I am not in my prayer room all day, every day. Okay. She'll throw on some Beyonce real quick. Okay. But my point is, infidelity is a sin like all things. And until he gets to the point where he's willing to turn from his sin and sees how he's affecting you, he'll never, ever change. Or not that he will never change. He won't get better until he's willing to turn from his sin. You can't make a man do better. A man will do better either one, because one, he wants to honor God. Two, he's sick of the life that he's living. Or three, he's realizing he's losing you and the family. But you can't make him do better. We want to help them do better. We want to help them. No. First of all, that's not your way. You're not God. We rebuild you, we make you stronger. We get you to the point where you're making decisions with no regrets. That's the big thing about it. You have to make clear decisions with no regrets, knowing that you did all that you can, and that's it. Okay? So go ahead and click the link for that. I'm going to answer one more question that was submitted to me. And I do appreciate you for submitting your questions ahead of time. It just makes it easier. Okay? Because I know some of you look at the live the video later on. So next question. How can I keep my husband from cheating? How can I keep my husband from cheating? And I kind of covered this in many of my videos. You can't make a man do right. As women, we're natural help. We want to help. We want to help. We want to fix. We know how to get the things to do what the things are supposed to do. We want to help. You cannot make a man do right. You cannot. He either wants to do right or he doesn't. So you have to make up in your mind, what are my boundaries? No, first of all, what do I want in this marriage? Number two, what are the boundaries I need to create so that I experience the marriage that I want, that I know I rightfully deserve? And three, is he willing to step up to the plate? If he is violating the sanctity, if he's violating the marriage, then you have a decision to make. This is the thing. A man will always do what he wants to do. Like, sometimes we'll try to make excuses for the man, but like, oh, he didn't know any better, or he made a mistake. No, he made a choice. He made a choice to do what he did. We don't just make mistakes and all of a sudden, oh, I slipped up and I had sex with another woman, or I slipped up and had an emotional affair with somebody. You don't just wake up and just, oh my goodness, what happened? No. You made a decision. Yes, you can repent for your sin and rebuild the marriage. Yes, it's totally possible. Totally possible. But what you cannot do is make to stay married to you, he will do it. It's not something that, oh, if I dressed up more, or if I wore lingerie more, or if I gave him sex more, if I cooked more, if I cleaned, if I helped him out with the bills more. No. Now, yes, we should do our roles. We do our part in being an amazing wife. Yes, we do that. But that's not the foundation of whether he's going to do right. That's manipulation. If your husband is saying to you, well, if you would do X, Y, and Z, I could be better to you. No, that's manipulation, and that's witchcraft. Yeah, it is. Also, some narcissistic tendencies. Yeah, we're not entertaining that. Okay, so take the weight and the burden off of you and saying, how can I make him do better? No, what you do, identify your truths, your worth. What do you want in this marriage? Number two, create your boundaries. This is the behavior that I'm willing to accept in this marriage. Not in a dictatorship way, not in a saying, and honor you as the wife, as the woman that other women. He is engaging emotionally and mentally. He's using his power in an abusive manner. He's physically harming you. I'm talking about some, things that harm you, and not just, oh, I want him to have date nights with me every week. I'm not talking about that. That's stuff that you can work on. I'm talking about behavior that is unacceptable and violates the sanctity of your marriage. Okay, so take the burden off of you saying, how can I get him to do right? A man does what he wants to do. And that's just it. Okay, what do you want? What boundaries or expectations do you have? And is he willing to stand up and that you need him to be? And it might take some time for you to actually get to that point, willing to create those boundaries. Because once you make the boundary, you got to make a decision. What happens after that? What if he violates the boundaries? Are you just going to keep on rehearsing the boundaries over are there consequences? And sometimes consequences are illegal separation. If he's gonna be out in the streets and put your life and your health at risk, because let's be clear, it's not like back in the day. It's not like back in the day where grandpa had a whole family 2 blocks down, and they knew of each other, and it was just acceptable that, you know, Tuesday through Thursday he gonna be with this family, and then Friday through Sunday he gonna be with his family, and then Monday he gonna be with his other side boo. It's not like back in the day, okay? And everybody accepted it. No, 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 no. One, women are now empowered and no longer feel that they have to accept this treatment. Number two, women are crazy. So women are crazy. Okay, so you don't need anybody coming to your doorstep talking about I'm dragging you, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna kill you because I need your man. And like, women are killing for men nowadays. Okay, also men are bringing STDs home to their wives because they're out there in these streets. So it's not like it was back in the day. I'm not high-fiving back in the day. I'm just saying we're not tolerating that no more. Okay, so if you need help with that, contact me. I want to work with you one-on-one to get you to the point where you are experiencing the healing that you need. Okay, so that you can make those conscious decisions about what is next for you. Okay, so if there are no further questions, I have a couple more, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you have any other questions, post them quickly in the comment section, and I'll be able to answer it. I'm going to leave the other questions for my next Q&A. So if you don't have any other questions, because there's also a delay, I would like to say, if you have questions, post it, okay? So I can answer your question. And if you don't have any other questions, make sure you receive my emails this week. If you have not received any of my emails this week, I need you to DM me, okay? So that I can get you on my email list. I've sent out a lot of helpful information. I want to make sure that you're getting it. Also, I have a new masterclass that's coming up towards the end of the month. I'm going to announce it next week to my list first and then on social media. But make sure you're on my list, all right? I hope you have an amazing weekend. I look forward to our next session. Our next Q&A will be next week, okay? So, once again, this is Arrettres Hollins with Connecting Love and Marriage. Let me know if you need help. I'm available for you, all right?